Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Live on iHeartRadio and the Smoke and Mirrors Network. It's the In Wheel Time car talk show, and coming up, we talk with Rodney Rodriguez, Circle Track announcer extraordinaire.
All right.
I bet he hasn't been called that lately. I drove the 2023 Subaru Crosstrek, and I'll give you my impression of it. We also have the cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. I'll bring the stories making automotive news headlines as well. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time car talk show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Let's get right to our Zoom call. And a guest this hour, Rodney Rodriguez, Circle Track announcer extraordinaire. Did you like that title?
What's extraordinaire? Is that good or bad?
I think that's good. Well, even if it wasn't good, I wouldn't tell you.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know
I'm
you
just
are.
kidding.
I know.
I'm flattered. I'm flattered, Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
So
today.
what did you think of the Kiwi winning Chicago?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's something, I was talking to some folks during the week, and, that whole concept wasn't supposed to work. That race was going to flop. People were going to get shot. I mean, you heard all the different things that were going to happen there.
Well, that still did happen.
I guarantee you, had Bubba Wallace won that race,
Bubba Wallace,
you wouldn't have all this excitement. Have you noticed nobody's even talked about the race is shortened? That's not even coming up. I mean, it was great. And pardon my French, guys, he whipped their asses, man.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He does it all the time. That's his profession. He does courses like that. That's what he does. In the supercars yet. He's not these little mamby-pamby 18-year-old, give me a car and I'm going to run. No.
Yeah.
He's got class.
No, I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was great for the industry. And I went back and looked thereafter, and you had 4.5 million people that watched it. The race started late. I mean, there was everything happened there that should have made it a failure, and it was like a epic home run, one of the biggest iconic races ever in NASCAR, some people say.
Well, I have to tell you that I love watching street racing on TV. Mm-hmm. It's terrible to watch in person because it's kind of like going to the Indy 500. You get a straightaway and a turn, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. And I want to see the whole thing. And man, I'm telling you, I really did like it. It was a great format for NASCAR, and I think that they need to do more of them.
And I'll tell you what was really cool was just the sounds right there. I mean, as loud as that new car is, when you would hear the ambient sound of that car just moving around, between all those buildings and everything, I just thought that was amazing. And it was really cool to see so many people, that turned out for that. I mean, they had them stacked, 10, 12 deep at some of those spots. And they even waited out the rain. I mean, that was a monsoon that blew through there. And an hour later, all right, let's go racing.
And I thought the announcers did a good job as they followed whoever it was that they were following around the track. I thought that was well done as well. I thought that could always be a challenge, is switching from announcer to announcer to announcer as whoever the leader is moves around the track. I thought they did a very good job of that.
They were really good in the sense that NBC, they go and they get Mike Bagley to kind of lead that. And he's one of the lead guys over at Motor Racing Network.
Yeah, MRN.
And if you ever catch a PRN or MRN race, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's boom, 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 boom. And, that's really the way to call a radio race. That's really the difference right there, because with radio, you're painting that picture because they can't see what you're talking about, where a lot of times on TV, I know it's something I struggle with, like with football, because I'm used to doing football on the radio. I do football on TV or on video, and I'm like painting a picture that everybody can see. So those radio broadcasts are really tremendous.
Well, I was just impressed with the race itself, the street course, and how narrow it was. I mean, it was almost impossible to pass. But when they did, oh, my God, hold your breath, tighten up your butt cheeks, because, man, are they going to make it through that or not?
And I think the other part of that, like you guys are talking about with the street course racing and the narrow, no runoff areas. I mean, none of that. If you mess up, I mean, you just hold on. And we saw a couple of them, that got themselves in trouble. There's just no room for error. And the other thing with this car, we're used to seeing some smaller sports cars and open wheel, Formula One or Indy cars on road courses, but these big old tanks out there, they cover a lot of mass. They cover a lot of
footprint.
Mass. Yeah. So it really was awesome to see. I think it was great.
I think if I were to offer any criticism and something that could be improved is the actual tire fences that they had there, where the car ran up underneath the tires and couldn't get out.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because something that I do want to speak to with this new car. In those situations where the guys were hitting those things and you see them make that impact and you're like, man, this is going to be horrible. And, they're sitting there trying to pull that thing out and the wrecker comes in and pulls them out and hell, they just drive off.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the Kyle Busch car had some damage to the right front fender. That one was kind of boogered up a little bit, like we like to say. But I mean, other than that, think about this composite body car. I mean, had that been with some of the older generation cars, you'd had cars wiped out. And the good part, I think, for NASCAR is something that nothing's really been said this week, but some of those impacts were pretty violent, and nobody hurt. And I think that was the one thing that with this car, some of the crush zones, and it was a real wasn't as nimble, a very stiff chassis on this race car. You had guys with concussions and so forth. Everybody good after all of those, and that's strides in the right direction.
Well, I have to tell you, man, I was really impressed because I saw some of those hits, and once they got the car unstuck from underneath the tire thing that they all ran into, that no damage. And they ran off and finished the race. It was truly amazing. I loved it. Yeah, I was very impressed. Okay, let's talk about Texas racing. What do you got on the calendar tonight?
I was in Waco last night. We actually had a really good night at HMP this past what was that? The first. A really cool night there. Good night, efficient night of racing. Get this, Don. We started at 7. We were done by 9:20. And that's with a fireworks thing.
What?
Afterwards.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No intermissions, no nothing. It was very much like a dirt track show. It's like, okay, guy comes up, he's down there where you would talk to the guys. The next race is waiting in turn 3 behind the pace car. And it's like, as soon as that car rolls off, boom, here we go. Show them one, green flag, and just like clockwork. And the fans really seem to be liking that more conservative approach to get people out the door. I always say when I'm there, it's like, our plan is to get you out of here in an efficient time to get you to church on the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm joking about the church, with all the folks that I like to raise hell with over there. But when you're able to do that, because that attention span is so short these days. I mean, when you get them in and out the door in 2.5 hours, man, you're doing something right. So things really on the uptick over there at HMP.
Now, how about the car count?
Better. Not what it was the race before, but I think a lot of that may have been, folks at the lake, folks doing, whatever for 4th of July.
Holiday weekend.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
those are always
and what about the crowds? Is the crowd increased any?
The last 2 have been really, really good, and this one was even better. And I think it was probably because of so this whole thing with running the show quicker. It happened. It was a fortunate mistake the way that it happened, because the race before we were battling weather. And we knew what was coming. We were checking radar, and we knew that we needed to be done. We had like they say on the network stuff, we had about a 2.5 hour window to produce our show, and we got that done. And the post conversation from that was like, man, that was great. We really liked how the show flowed, and we made it, or the racetrack made it very apparent that was going to be the case again this time with the schedules. And that place was jam-packed, and it was hot, guys. Oh, God, it was hot. People were sweating bullets out there, but, they showed up and they sat through it.
Yeah, if you finished at 9:20, you got through about dark. So you didn't get any help out of the sun.
Yeah, it started a little earlier, and even that turned the lights on. But it's a good night. People are continuing to show up. Competition's good. There was a little controversy, as always, at the end in the tech shed, but something that was resolved. It was at the racetrack made a mistake, and they owned up to it this week, and they fixed that. And it's things like that that are going to gain the confidence of the drivers and the fans, and hopefully that's something that'll continue moving forward. But tonight at 1:05, they're in Cleveland. You've got a full night of action there for them. They race every Saturday, so
and that's a dirt track
on over there this weekend. Yeah,
dirt track. How big is that track?
I want to say I think that's a quarter mile. I may be wrong.
Quarter mile.
I haven't been to that one.
Are you going to call it tonight?
No. I got the night off. I'm going to watch the Astros.
Well, good for you.
Glutton for punishment.
Yeah, well, no. I mean,
they've been fairly well.
Yeah, they're pretty exciting. I actually looked to see how much a ticket costs out in the Crawford boxes. Well, I can't afford that. Forget that. I'd have to sit up in the nosebleed section somewhere. But it looks like
y'all remember when they were really bad and they were like almost giving those away. You could get in there for
next to nothing.
It was sort of like last night.
Yeah, well, that's not the case any longer. I can tell you that.
Yeah, a lot of big salaries to pay.
So, what are you looking forward to? Is NASCAR running today or tomorrow?
NASCAR,
Atlanta.
Yeah. I really like this weekend because they're heading to Atlanta, and so Atlanta now races like Daytona and Talladega. The big super speedway tracks. They went in and reconfigured. Redid the banking. Everything is different there. And
really?
Yeah. 200 mile per hour speed. So you'll have the big one. You'll have all of that. I think something that's going to be really interesting, NASCAR here, the rest of the way, you've got about 8 races left until the playoffs, and you've got 12 different winners. So to see if we get, 16 are eligible for the playoffs, to see if we actually get, what is that, 12, 13, 14, if we get that many different winners. And there's a couple of road course races left. There's a couple of super speedway races left and mile and a halves. And guys, a couple of Hendrick guys that haven't won yet, like Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. So that's going to be something pretty cool to watch as we get towards the playoffs. And then, of course, the playoff run. Who's able to win the championship? It's pretty wide open, I think, this time.
Is Bristol going to be another dirt race again?
With this, a lot was hinging on what we just saw this past week. We've talked countless times on our shows about how that race is going to really put the next calendar for NASCAR in line. And I really think that 2 things that are going to happen. Number one, the Indianapolis, the Brickyard 400, I think that'll be back on the oval, which is where it needs to be instead of the road course. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Which is ironic because for the longest time, people said, well, you got to get that off the schedule. And now we want the oval back. And I think that the dirt race that you're talking about there at Bristol, that's run its course. It's just not very entertaining. I don't want to say it's a flop. It was cool the first time. Let the trucks do that, but this isn't a dirt racing series. These aren't dirt cars. I think the one thing that we just learned, and you kind of spoke to it, Don, is these cars. You all spoke to it. These cars are designed to do what we just saw them do, not run on dirt. So exactly. I think we're going to see more of what we just saw.
And not to put down dirt at all. I mean, I enjoy a good dirt car race, but if I'm going to watch
a dirt car,
right? I want to. That's right.
Specific.
And I want to go to a NASCAR race, and I want to see them do 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'd like to see him at Road America with the Cup cars as opposed to just the Xfinity cars.
I agree, and I think it's pretty inevitable as well that, and I think this time it'll be Cup, that they'll head to Canada, probably back to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Because, obviously with the pandemic, that made it impossible for Xfinity to get over there with borders and so forth. But I think now with the growth of this and NASCAR's trying to expand. I mean, folks are talking about, with North Wilkesboro, getting North Wilkesboro back on the schedule a few weeks back. That was really cool. I really enjoyed seeing that. But do you know why we don't go to places like that? Because Fox couldn't get their broadcast on the air because of the bandwidth and you're out in the middle of the country.
We can
You know,
relate.
It's, yes, it has.
We are very well aware of how that works.
We know how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like trying to do a cup race in Chapel Hill. I mean, it's not. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, I have to tell you, back to the road racing. I remember back in the day, I used to love watching Riverside.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
And they need to have a new Riverside somewhere where it's a tradition in NASCAR and the Cup cars.
Well, that's why I think Road America would be a great, because there's some huge speed at Road America, and then at the end of that huge speed, it's a hard 90.
Yeah. Well, and I will tell you that I kind of like the Texas race up at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, the funny thing there, Don, that you talk about, because with the road course, now having more of them, a lot of the newer race fans, younger race fans, not as seasoned as we are, like you're talking about.
That's so nice.
People,
Thank you.
They don't. The NASCAR season used to start and end at Riverside, and Daytona was race 2.
Yeah.
You started in January and then you ended with the finale there with the whatever they used to call it at Riverside. But we do, and I agree with Road America, and I think the thing about it is Road America is such a great place because it's very fan friendly. Those are rabid race fans. They love when the tour comes into town. I mean, they embrace that. That's like a Willie Nelson picnic over there at Road America, and that needs to be back on the schedule.
Everybody's smoking weed and drinking beer.
That's right.
No, we think it's all about the music, the guitar.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah,
that's not it at all.
We want the old NASCAR back. There it is, right there.
That's
There it is, right.
Exactly.
Moonshine.
So, what do you got going on your car show?
Just trying to cover everything as it continues to happen. Across the country, you've got super late model racing that's they're kind of getting past the midway point, getting towards the bigger races. You've got some big stuff up north this week on Tuesday that I'll be pretty hammering on pretty good. The Slinger Nationals up in Wisconsin. So that's a Tuesday.
What Tuesday? A Tuesday?
A Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I'm
But it's
sorry.
Wisconsin. Give them a break.
Well, they're
You'll have
making
that.
cheese curds the
On
rest
Monday,
of them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. And the one thing, I mean, I know we had kind of talked about it as we get into this, it's really interesting to watch how the racers in the heat right now, because that question has come up to me a lot of different times. It's like, how do the racers handle the heat? And it's like, well, if you're a NASCAR driver or a Formula One or whatever, you go sit in the paddock or you go sit in the motorhome or whatever. But if you're a local driver, you get out there and sweat. I drove at Edna. I raced at Edna a couple of weeks back. I drove 2 different divisions on the same night, and I'll tell you what, this fat guy here forgot. That used to be nothing. 2 different divisions.
Yeah, how old are you now?
Yeah, exactly.
Ronnie, it's
Exactly.
great. When is your show on the air?
We Monday 6:30 you can catch Revved Up at RevvedUpSportsShow.com and on Facebook, and then Thursday on Racing America 6 p.m. Central Racing America Facebook page. I'll be covering that Slinger Nationals and just getting ready for another week. Countdown to Snowball. Almost time for us to head to Pensacola in December when it'll be nice and cold.
It's always good to talk to you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Bet you guys take care. Be well.
See you,
Do the
Rodney.
same. Rodney Rodriguez, the voice of short track racing all across the United States.
He needs to get you on his show.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need me at all. He does just a fine job. And tune in. He's got a great show, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 24 Subaru Crosstrek. Wait a minute, Don. Didn't you have one of those about a month ago? Yes, I did. Different trim level on this one. Here are the trim levels. It starts off with the base, the premium, moves up to the sport, and then the limited. I had the premium, which is just one notch above the entry level. This is a small wagon. It's made basically from the Impreza four-door sedan, but they've turned it into an SUV. They raised it up off the ground a little bit, threw on some body cladding, and boom, there you go. Seats 5 people. Redesigned for 2024, it looks a whole lot better than the outgoing model. It does have sedan-like proportions. This is not a big SUV. Sporty, off-road style wheels, larger grille now from the old model. Body cladding helps the off-road look and appeal. What I liked about it, the roof rail, as odd as this may sound, the roof rail makes it look tougher. Isn't that bizarre? Take the roof rail off of it, and it looks more like a car. Put the roof rail on it. What could use improvement? I don't know. Interior highlights? Optional big infotainment screen is easy to use, and I would encourage you, if you're looking for that kind of vehicle, to get the bigger infotainment screen. Love the different interior textures in all of the models. Easy to find controls. Comfortableness is the word that I used.
Well, you're a cloth seat kind of guy.
I am a cloth seat kind of guy. Cargo trunk room, rubber mats keep it clean in the back, and it comes with the car. What I liked about it, cozy and comfortable is a good way, I think, to put it, because that's what it is. It's a small SUV, and I think that you'll like it. 2-liter boxer-style engine. In other words, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder, 152 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque with a CVT transmission. 27 miles per gallon in the city, 34 on the highway for a combined of 29. I got 30.4 miles per gallon over 473 miles. What I liked about it? Well, pretty much everything on the engine side. What could use improvement? Get a geared automatic transmission, at least make it available. It just is not great with the CVT, not a whole lot of pickup there. And if that's the case and you're going to stick with the CVT, then you need to have some sort of a power booster on that motor, like a turbo. Ride and handling, car-like smooth. And I will say that thing rides great. What could use improvement? Off-roaders would probably like a little bit more flexibility in the ride and handling of it. In other words, make it more off-roady, but that's not what that really is about. I mean, this is a do-all car that can go off-road because it's full-time all-wheel drive.
Off-roady. It's a new word.
It is, and I made that road worthy.
Roadie.
Mm-hmm. Base trim price, $27,440. Prices tested, well, this is a pre-production model, so I guess it's somewhere around $30K. I didn't have it.
It'd be about right,
Yeah.
I guess.
Base model price, $24,995. Competitors, Honda HR-V. Think about that.
That's a small one, though.
There's
But
really...
it's also more vertical.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the niche that this has. It's more SUV-like, purpose-built, where this one is kind of like a crossover. It comes from the Impreza.
Well, you think Subaru, that's what you think.
Mazda CX-30 is another competitor. Again, $29,000. And the Jeep Renegade, Mike's favorite, $26,000.
That's just a crowded segment. There's just a lot of stuff in there.
There is. And so do your homework well. If you're not brand loyal, I would encourage you to go to the Subaru dealership and take it for a test drive.
And Subaru customers are rabid loyal. They, just the typical Subaru customer is a very loyal fan of the brand.
And rightly so. I mean, they're pretty good cars. They can't seem much bad about them at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you?
No. I was just thinking, a friend of mine, he's on his second one. And I mean, hardcore Chrysler fan from years and years back, all the way back to when we were in high school. I mean, that was the only people that built cars, even whenever they were not so good at cars. But he's on his second one.
And when I think of Subaru, I think of the Lilienthals.
Well, they don't have a Subaru.
No, but
no,
it's the outdoorsy. They're always out.
They're out
traveling,
there, going places,
exactly.
doing things.
Well, they did one of their treks in a Subi.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
Well, at any rate, would you like to do the cruise-in calendar?
Sure.
Went to Craig's Chrome and Coffee last Sunday morning.
How was it?
Packed.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. And great bunch of older resto mods. a 1920 Model A.
There's a Model A
with
with 32s there.
Yeah,
High boys. Yep.
Yeah, really
You
good
brought
stuff.
Leslie's new vehicle?
Well,
you
no, I
didn't
took the
take
EV.
You didn't take the vet, though.
No, I didn't. I took the EV last week, and everybody pointed and make fun of it. I said, okay, well, let's get out here on the feeder street, and let's give it a go, and let's see who wins that one.
And if you weren't listening last week, good riddance to the F-bomb. She finally got rid of the Jaguar.
Yes, it's gone. Thank you. Yeah. Goodbye forever and ever. Yeah. Never again.
Jaguar paying a lot of money.
Never going to let you live that down.
He just
I'm so happy he did.
He just wanted to use the word F-bomb.
Tonight, 5 p.m., Brookshire Brothers Cruise In Montgomery, Texas. Also tonight at 6 p.m., the Wharton Cruise Night at Domino's Pizza there in Wharton. I don't have to give the street address. It's Wharton. Also tonight at 6 p.m., the Cruise In at Eva Street in Montgomery, Texas. Saturday at the Ranch Harley Davidson in College Station. That starts this afternoon. And then tomorrow is Woodlands Coffee. Coffee and Tuners at Tom's Coffee in the Galleria.
Did you handwrite this that you can't read it?
And then Pistons in the Park at Park and Pizza in Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville.
Yeah. Downtown Pflugerville.
This starts with a P, doesn't it?
Yeah.
PF.
Yeah.
Pflugerville.
Back to you, Don.
God bless you.
Pflugerville.
You have to watch your microphone off.
Oh, yes. Mars has got a whole box full of.
I was just looking, closed caption spelled it right.
They did?
The
That's good to know. All right. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In-Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Loopy's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Loopy Tortilla. Loopy Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.